Welcome to the Raise podcast. I'm Carol Barwick. We're here to raise your confidence and inspire your creativity. Each episode, we will have a different guest who will be discussing our Raise word. The Raise word is a word that will encourage you or empower you and at times inspire you to explore the word a little more for yourself. Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Raise podcast. I'm Carol Barwick. We've had such interesting words recently. We've looked at villains and all kinds of interesting things. And today, the word is really exciting. I love this word. I think it's a word that I use very often. And the word today is sparkle. And I've got a really interesting guest on today. She's called Zara Salloway, and she has been in charge of what can only be called my lockdown addiction. So I'm going to let her tell you all about it. Hi, Zara, how are you doing?
I'm good, Carol, thank you. I'm Zara, and I am the person behind the brand Zra, and I make sparkly jewellery. I'm a bit of a glitter addict, and so therefore I like everything to sparkle and shine.
So tell me, Zara, what does the word sparkle mean to you?
For me, it makes me happy. The word sparkle makes me happy. It's whether you're sparkling from the inside or outside. I don't mind, but it's a happy word for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking, actually, I have a conflict of interest with the ZRA when it comes to the podcast, because every time I go and do an episode, I think, oh, I want to look nice on screen. So I'm going to wear my earrings. And then I think, oh, I've got my headphones on. So I can never wear them. I wear them the rest of the time. But I always think, oh, so yeah. Yeah, lovely. I just looked up the dictionary definition of sparkle, and I really like this. So it says to emit sparks, to throw off ignited or incandescent particles, to shine as if throwing off sparks, to emit flashes of light, to scintillate, to twinkle as the blazing wood sparkles, the stars sparkle. I think your earrings and necklaces do all of those things, don't they? They really emit light.
I think they are. They're very sparkly, and a lot of them are not for the faint-hearted. They are quite big and sparkly too, but I think they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are fun. So I wanted to talk to you as well, because you do all the jewelry things as one of the things that you do, but you're also a nurse, Zara. So I wondered, how do you think you sparkle in your career as a nurse?
Wow. How do you answer that? I think you'd have to ask my patients that.
Okay.
They do quite like me. I'm a children's nurse, so it's not easy to you know not be happy around children, because even in horrible situations you still have to be a certain way around children,
Mm.
because quite often we're doing not very nice things to them, and so I think in your personality and in your traits you have to be quite an upbeat person around children, especially when they're poorly.
Mm.
Try and make them feel better in the situation and the time that you're with them.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's so important for the children. Do you find that you kind of get it back from them as well? Have there been any surprising times where they've sparkled in a way that you didn't expect?
Tenfold you get it back, and that I think I'm a children's nurse rather than an adult nurse. I think as adults we're quite miserable when we're poorly, and actually children they will carry on irregardless. They might be feeling really, really, really not very well, but they will still manage a smile for you, and they still let you know how they're feeling.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking about diamonds and how they are carbon, and they're just pushed and they're pressured and they're prodded, aren't they, to make the sparkle, and the more they're pushed and prodded, the more sparkle they produce. And I wonder if in those situations you're talking about, that's what happens with the children. They kind of, the more pressure they're under, they're actually bringing out their kind of inner selves, really.
Yeah, I think that's really quite a good analogy of kids, especially, you know, I look after a lot of children with special needs who can't potentially communicate in a way and say that this hurts or that hurts, or feel well today. And so you are kind of led by how they are reacting, and that look in their eye you have to judge. And I think that sparkle does tell you what's going on and whether they're in a good place or a bad place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about, I mean, it's no secret, people listening to the podcast, they know I love words. It's the reason why we do just one word each week. And I was thinking about the word sparkle and the fact that it, you know, it literally starts with a spark, doesn't it? And how important a spark is. And I was saying to you actually, Zara, before we started this episode, that I was worried earlier on that I'd left the gas fire on, and I don't have a sense of smell, so that can often be a fear for me. And one spark could have caused such an immense reaction. And how those sparkles are, these tiny little flashes of light, aren't they? And they kind of continue. So let's go wind all the way back. What made you decide that you were going to do these earrings and these necklaces, as well as kind of nursing or whatever you were doing at the time? Tell us a bit about that journey.
I mean, I've been a nurse for 23 years now, so
right.
A long, it's not a new career.
Yeah.
Not coming to the end of it either, unfortunately. Got a way to go.
Yeah.
But I have always kind of been a creative-y person, but not particularly very good at art or anything. I always kind of started off, I liked making cards, and then I just saw a YouTube video once, probably about 14, 15 years ago, on resin, and was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Mixing glitter in a liquid and it sets hard and looks pretty. And I had a go, and I did it for a few years back 12, 13 years ago. And then I had the children and life got busy. And so I kind of put up the resin and didn't have time to do it anymore. And then a few years ago, well, I think we're now 5 years ago, I just thought, oh, I'd quite like to. In fact, my daughter made something, and she'd made something with some shrink plastic. And I said, that would look really good with a coat of resin on it and a bit of sparkle. And she was like, oh, yeah, let's do that. So I got it back out, and I haven't looked back, really. I just started mixing again, and it has really, unfortunately, it's gone from strength to strength.
It has. Yes, I'm afraid I'm one of those people that have very much enjoyed keeping it going. I said that you were the reason for my lockdown addiction, and I have to say that, you know, particularly at the beginning when I first got COVID, having that little bit of sparkle and seeing all your different designs and the more and more things that you did really did cheer me up. I think my first Zra earrings were, are they a rainbow? I can't remember.
I think they were.
And yeah, there have been many since.
I made a lot of rainbows in lockdown.
Yes. Yeah. But they, I mean, that whole symbol of hope and the different colors, and that really that's been quite synonymous with COVID and the NHS and that kind of thing. So tell me a little bit about the process of kind of how you make the earrings and what designs you decide and things like that.
So the design process sometimes is, I'm very fortunate, I have got a laser myself. So if I think of something and I will say to my husband, I don't know how to use the laser. I will confess, if that is Paul's part, he does that. I'll say, oh, can I have a gingerbread house? And away he will go, and we kind of tweak it on the computer, and then he'll cut my shapes and he makes the molds for me. So we make our own silicone molds as well. So there are quite a few of my designs that are our designs. They're the ones that we use and only we have. And so I'm quite fortunate in that respect. But also there are lots of wonderful other small businesses out there that are making fabulous molds and coming up with some incredible designs. And so, as well as a glitter addict, I am also a mold addict. I do buy lots and lots of everybody else's designs when they come out. And yeah, so the actual design can come from anywhere. It can be anything. I get lots and lots of requests for certain big movie names and things. They're steer away from any writed
big cartoon type.
Lots it's like that. And so I don't do any of those, but there are lots of cute designs out there, and we design our own. And so you start with a silicone mold, and then you have the process of the resin, and it's a epoxy resin that I use, and you basically mix them in equal parts and add your sparkles and pour into the molds, and you let them sit and cure for 12 to 24 hours.
Okay.
And then they're hard. Once the chemical reaction happens, they're hard, and you can demold them, and your design is there.
So do you kind of push them out like you would, I don't know, a jelly or something like that? You have to kind of pop it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's my therapy every morning. I can't wait to get down. I have my cup of coffee and I look at my molds and I pop them all out. So people don't see this part, but
no, I will though. we'll describe it.
I've just put backs on these.
Yeah.
In a little silicone mold, and these are little mittens for Christmas.
Oh, for Christmas, yeah.
Christmas mittens. So they're in a silicone mold, and you literally just pop them out in the morning.
So it's almost like ice cubes, isn't it?
Yep, like an ice cube tray. In fact, I think when I first started, I did buy some of the ice cube trays that you see in the supermarkets with
like the pineapples and things like that.
Yeah, but they're quite big for an ice cube. Exactly that process. Yeah.
Oh, I'd be really excited in the morning. I don't know if because I'd want to see it straight away, but I love the way you just kind of talk about the process so easily. I mean, there are just so many steps that would go wrong along the way if I had to go at doing it. I think I'm way too impatient.
But there are a lot of it takes a lot of practice to get to it being that I can just literally pour, and then in the morning I'll be able to pop out. It doesn't always go to plan, and when people ask for specific designs and specific colors, that will be the one that you pop it out and it's not gone right, and you have to make it again.
Yeah. And what's your favorite one? What's your favorite design ever, do you think?
I have to say the gingerbread collection is pretty. I just think it's so cute. I really do. And now I've got gingerbread men tree decorations too, as long as earrings. So I think that collection is at the moment coming into, now it's the 1st of November. I'm allowed to talk about Christmas.
Definitely. Yeah, bam, Christmas everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. And just describe it, because obviously we can't, so it's a good time to describe it so people get all excited about it, because I think I've got one. I've got a Christmas decoration.
So it's a little house, got a little red door, and the little red door is sparkly. It's got white part windows and a little white roof, and then it's gingerbread, all the golds, all the browns, all the sparkles. And I've got a big tree decoration, I've got big earrings, I've got stud earrings, and I've got a pendant too.
Yeah, I love it. It's really Christmassy, and it's got it's snow on the roof, isn't it? But that isn't sparkly, so it stands out, and it's even. And you also do glow in the dark sparkly ones, which were just the absolute pinnacle of my excitement.
For Halloween, I know you don't celebrate Halloween,
Yeah.
but for Halloween, lots of people do go very crazy for the glow in the dark ghosts and things.
Yeah, and I guess they're good for I don't know if you ever do firework earrings. I don't think I've seen any. Have you?
There is a firework kind of earring, and that has come in glow in the dark too.
Oh, brilliant. Because I mean, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you at this time of year, because obviously we've just had Halloween, but then we've also got firework night as well. And so again, the word sparkle is just really synonymous with fireworks and Roman candles and that kind of thing. Who doesn't need a little bit of sparkle in their lives? Thank you to Zara for this episode. If you'd like to spread a little stardust, then please leave us a 5-star rating on your favourite music platform, or if you listen in another way, you can always drop Carol some feedback at Carol Barwick or on Raising Confidence, Inspiring Creativity page or community. Back to the episode. So Zara, tell me a little bit about why kind of having sparkly things and shiny things is important to you. Why have you chosen to do that rather than some of the other jewelry that we see?
I think because I like sparkle, although I can't wear big earrings 99% of the time, because as a nurse and a mum, it's quite hard to wear big sparkly earrings, but I do tiny sparkly studs. I think it's other people's reactions to the sparkles that I like.
Yeah.
And so when I have customers, and I have to say I'm so fortunate that 99.9% of my customers will message me and say, my box arrived, it's just made me so happy to open a box of sparkle. And for me, that is the biggest reason to continue, because they've said it, it's just put a real smile to my face. And to think that something I've made has brought a smile to somebody else's face that day is really, fabulous.
Yeah, and as I said, it really did bless me so much, and having all the kind of different designs, but it lifted me. It really does lift me. I've just having a look on my Facebook community group, because you know that when we do the podcast word, we do it in this community group as well. And I asked people what sparkle meant to them, and it's really interesting. So somebody said allowing yourself to be real and just having the freedom to be you. We all sparkle, but unfortunately lots of us have been told to dial it down because it makes other people uncomfortable. Someone said to let yourself shine and be bright. Someone else said, ooh, Christmas. Someone said it was their nickname at their job at where they worked. Someone said that instead of being called a granny or a nanny to her grandchildren, they wanted her to be called Sparkle.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Sparkle and Shine from the Nativity film. But it just, sometimes when I do words and I ask people what it means, and we can go down a really kind of dark road or a personal road, or people say things and you think, oh my goodness, they're really going through some stuff. Whereas this word, everyone was just happy.
Happy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. In a world where it's all a bit chaotic and a bit rubbish and quite frankly quite dark. It's nice to have a bit of sparkle and a bit of light, isn't it?
And absolutely. And I do wonder whether part of my reason for continuing to do it is because of my real job, and what that is, and what I see as a daily kind of reminder of how this life is and how we are living this life. it is a nice reminder that, you know, there are, these children all do sparkle in their own little way as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I said, you probably don't feel it, but I'm sure that you know, you are their sparkle, you're their kind of hope in keeping them going, and that's really important. And the best thing about sparkle is it doesn't work unless you shine a light on it. So I could have the most beautiful ZRA earrings, absolutely massive ones, you know, the ones that you do with like 6 stars on them, but if I went in a cupboard and shut the door, there's no point, is there? But if I went in the cupboard and shut the door and turned the light on, suddenly that's when they really glow. And I think that's why I wanted you on, Zara, because I knew that you did nursing, and I think it's really important to think about the light that people like yourselves bring, because it's incredibly important. And because I started buying your earrings over my journey with COVID, the whole nursing thing and NHS and health and all that has been really prevalent in my life, and having people that bring hope is absolutely critical. I mean, it really is critical for some of those children. Your sparkle will be critical to them, because what they don't want is somebody that's, you know, grumpy and bored of changing their cannulas and all the other things that you have to do. And so I think that's lovely. Are there any, obviously without naming anyone at all, but are there particular children that you know that really bring a smile to your face? Just give them a different name, or say a boy, or...
I don't think there's any that don't. It's whether they smile when they see me. It's a bit different because they know what I'm going to do. But I have she is 13 now, almost 13.
Mm.
We have to see her twice a week, and she has to have an injection twice a week. And I go every Friday, pretty much every Friday, to see her. And I get a high five, and I get to hear how her week's been. And, do you know, that to me is just the fact that I know I'm going in to be mean, and yet she's more than happy to sit and give me a hug or tell me about what's happened this week and who she's fallen out with, is just, it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. And it very much shows her character, doesn't it? And yeah. And obviously, ultimately, you're doing it all to help and heal them, aren't you? As horrible as it feels to have to do it. And that's why I think, as we said, that bringing that kind of light out of the darkness and restoring a bit of that sparkle is really important. Was there anything for you growing up that made you kind of want a little bit of sparkle? Did you used to like sparkly things when you were little, or is it something that's happened as you've got older?
I think it's more as I've got older, to be fair. I think as a child, I was kind of just, I don't remember being that little girl that was always in sparkly frocks or anything. I was in the nurse's uniform. That was something I always wanted to be.
Oh, wow, really? Oh, wow.
Definitely and there was a TV program, I think, at the time when I was younger, called Children's Ward, which was want to be a children's nurse.
Wow.
As for sparkly things, I think I've always been quite a loud person.
Mm-hmm.
Thing or not, I don't know. Quite a confident, loud person, and so I've always been kind of center of, nights out and things. I'm always the loud one. I don't thing. So I guess I've always sparkled outwardly in my own right, rather than with added sparkle. But I'm now adding it.
But I have to say, because we were saying again just before we started recording that I've known you for quite a long time now, a few years, and feel like I know you quite well, but never spoken to you. And actually, when we were popping each other a voicemail a little while before we did the episode, it's the first time I'd heard your voice, and it was just so strong and confident. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I remember thinking, oh, that's a really lovely, strong, confident voice. So I think that's when you have that kind of confidence, that it helps kind of you sparkle a bit, doesn't it? We go back to what one of the people in the group was saying about how, you know, people can try and dull your sparkle and dial you down, and how important it is to be yourself and shine the way that, you know, you were created to be is really important, I think. And I wonder how many people are walking around having been shut up and dialed down and told that they're too much, and what the world would be like if they were as confident as, you know, some of the rest of us.
I think you know, a lot of my customers, and you know, not a sexist thing at all, but they are 99.9% women, and the percent are men buying for their wives who they know that they like my sparkles, and so therefore there are a lot of women that are now wanting to sparkle more, and I think that kind of says things as well, that people might have been held back. But I think over the last few years, with what we as a nation have been through and a world has been through, people are kind of very much, I will get through, we will get through this, and I will do it my way, and I will sparkle in my own right.
Yeah. And I think that's important, because the more confident people are and the more they're using their own voice, I think that's how the world is going to change, isn't it? That's how we're going to kind of move forward. Obviously, there are people that use their own voice for more negative things and saying things that are not so helpful, but used in the right way, I think that kind of confidence is really important.
Definitely.
Really important. Yeah. Okay, well, we're nearly at the end of the episode. Before we bring it to a close, is there anything else that you wanted to say, or any products you particularly wanted to share as a kind of Christmas comes, or for people listening and that Christmas has already gone, just products that you really like that you want to tell people about?
All of them. I don't. I'm the worst salesman. I really am. I with social media, I'm not very, like you said, it's the first time you've heard my voice, and so many people out there are doing videos of them selling their wares, and I just, yeah, I'm not particularly great at that. But if you wanted to have a look at sparkles, then obviously head over to my Facebook page or Instagram and have a look. And I'm really rubbish. I don't put prices on anything, but they're quite cheap, I think.
Yeah. You didn't really sell that very well. The fact is, people listening, that Zara may think she's not a great marketer, but I have 25 pairs of her earrings over the last 2 years. Oh my goodness, my husband's going to listen to this. I have two pairs, just 2 pairs, and everybody's bought me the rest. And they speak for themselves. And the people that see them, people that see me wearing them, always say, oh my goodness, I love those. They always bring sparkle to other people. So you may think that you're not a good marketer, but actually they sing, they sparkle. So let them sparkle, and you'll carry on being really popular. And I've seen the piles of envelopes that you have to post off to everybody.
So, that way they are. I do have a very good loyal client base, for sure.
Yeah, well, there is definitely a reason for that. But we'll put your the details on the show notes so that people can have a look. And as Christmas comes up, as this episode is going out, do have a look at Zara's things. And a challenge for people listening today: is there a place in your life where your sparkle has been dulled, Have you been told to dial something down that actually, you know, made you who you were? Is it time to shine? Just have a little think. You know, I'm here if you want to pop onto Facebook and have a chat, or talk to somebody else that you know and trust. And let's kind of ensure that the world is full of people that know their true worth and are really sparkling and shining and bringing the hope that Zara talked about when she's nursing, and whatever career you're doing. Let's make sure that you're really sparkling. Okay, so we come to the point of the episode where I write a little poem. I know for sure that there isn't a word that rhymes with sparkle, so this could be fun. But yeah, I'll just leave a trail of stardust, shine so very bright. Be the one you're made to be. Try to get it right. Bring a little hope. Bring a little joy. Bring a little sparkle. And please start today. There you go. Short and sweet. Zara, thank you so much for talking to me today. And yeah, we'll put all your details on the show notes, and have a lovely firework night as it comes up. And I'm sure that I'll be in touch with you soon as the Christmas earrings start to come out.
That's it for the next 2 months. That's all you're going to see.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.